this is your chaplain speaking.
Hey everybody, it's the Doug, and I wanted to just give you the lowdown on the phony Irishman that is St. Patrick. Happy St. Paddy's Day if you're watching this on St. Patrick's Day. This is a little bit of little-known trivia about St. Patrick. First of all, St. Patrick was not, wait for it, Irish.
You've got to be kidding me!
Not even joking. St. Patrick was actually British. St. Patrick was about 16 years old. He was born and raised in the faith in Britain and was captured by Irish pirates when he was about 16. Irish pirates would raid up and down the coast of Britain, and they would find fishermen in their fishing boats, or they would go slightly inland and they would find shepherds and farmers, and they would capture the women and the children, usually kill the men, and take the women and children as slaves back to Ireland, which is exactly what they did with St. Patrick, who was, wait for it, not even named Patrick. Not even joking. St. Patrick was actually, at this point, still under his birth name, which was Maewyn Succat. Just an old English name. Wasn't known as St. Patrick yet. He was taken over to Ireland as a slave. He was put in the fields to tend the sheep, where he had lots of time alone. And St. Patrick began to hear what he really believed was God's voice talking to him and telling him what God had in mind for his life when he was no longer a slave. One day, he heard God's voice say to him, "Your ship is waiting. Your ship is waiting." And so St. Patrick took that as a sign that he was to head down to the coast. Sure enough, when he got to the coast, he found a British ship that was sailing back to his homeland, and he was able to negotiate passage across the sea and was a free man. He got back to Britain, he was reunited with his family, and he became a priest, and he began to grow deeper in his faith, where he was eventually ordained a bishop. Still not Patrick. He is still at this point Bishop Maewyn or Bishop Succat, and he really reflected back on the 6 years that he spent in Ireland, and he felt like God was calling him back to go and bring the gospel, bring the person of Jesus, the good news, to all of the pagan tribes of Ireland, which is exactly what he did. Hopped back in a boat, a bunch of monks with him, and they sailed over to Ireland. When they got there, they were not greeted with open arms. The pagan chiefs of all the different tribes were actually pretty hostile to him, and St. Patrick was captured. Many of the monks were slaughtered. He was thrown in jail, tortured, and generally just given a hard time. And this is where we hear the prayer called St. Patrick's breastplate, and it begins to arise out of St. Patrick's desperate need to stay alive. And he prays in that prayer, he prays for things like, protect me from, like, on all sides, above me and behind me, below me, each side of me. And he says, protect me from, poisoning and from drowning. And he goes through this litany of dangers that he's faced. And he prays to God to protect him every day from each one of these things, which God does. St. Patrick stays alive and manages to bring to Christianity the pagan chiefs of Ireland, and Christianity begins to spread through the Irish people. Patrick now, years later, like in 1400, this was like in 350, 400 AD, and then in about 1500, St. Patrick was ordained a saint, given the name Patrick, which means in Latin, patricius means king or nobleman. And that was the beginning of the devotion to St. Patrick, who is now the patron saint of Ireland. The color green didn't actually have anything to do with St. Patrick. Color green comes from the green, the lush greenery, the scenery, and the ecology of the Irish island, and from the Irish green stripe on their flag. And of course, that all gets adopted as the color for St. Patrick's Day. A couple other legends that we can neither confirm nor deny. At one point, it's believed that St. Patrick got up on a hill overlooking Ireland and drove out all the snakes and sent them into the ocean. Well, naturalists are pretty much in agreement that Ireland is too cold and too wet for snakes, that there were probably never any snakes on the island in the first place. So, that's a legend. And second of all, it's believed that St. Patrick used the 3 leaves of the clover, the shamrock that we see associated with St. Paddy's Day, as a teaching tool for the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 leaves, 1 plant. And that can actually be neither confirmed nor denied, but it has stuck as one of the legends and one of the lore along with St. Patrick, and so it becomes a symbol of St. Paddy's Day. there you go. St. Patrick, not an Irishman, but a cool dude nonetheless. He had a love for the Irish people, wanted to spread that love of God to them and give them something to hope for, show them that God had a place for them as well. And for that reason, St. Patty's got my vote. Go find some green milkshakes or green pancakes or something. Enjoy St. Patty's Day. Thank you very much for watching. Check you guys later.